Hi, hi, dear student. In last lecture of section first, we have discussed about the characteristics of life and characteristics of living organism. In the characteristics of life and characteristics of living organism, we have discussed the basic principles of life. With the help of those basic principles, one can observe the organisms whether are living or non-living. These basic principles gave us an idea to make a difference in between the living organism and a non-living things. Now, if we observe the basic principles of life, in last lecture we have discussed about the growth as intrinsic growth and extrinsic growth. Intrinsic growth shown by living organism, extrinsic growth shown by non-living substances like formation of sand mound into the desert with the help of blow of a wind. Then easily we are going to say the buildings are growing around us. Because of the addition of same kind of material into the previous one, it leads to the formation of the growth, or it leads to increasing in the dry weight of the previous thing. Instead of growth, we have discussed about the reproduction also. Is a characteristics feature of a living organism is helpful for the formation of new individual like that of the parents. And this new individual can be produced by two different ways, as asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction. In asexual reproduction, the new individual organisms are formed without formation of gametes. And in sexual reproduction, there is a requirement to produce the gametes. Not only that, these gametes should have unite with each other to form an zygote. So this is about sexual and asexual reproduction. Here, in the basic principles of life, first basic principle we are going to discuss about the metabolism. What is metabolism? Sum total of all the reactions takes place inside the cell cytoplasm is called as metabolism. A number of different kinds of reactions are performed inside the cell, and those reactions or sum total of all those reactions is considered as metabolism. The metabolism are of two different types, as catabolism and anabolism. Catabolism is a breakdown of molecules. You can take a reaction of a catabolism in the form of cellular respiration. In the process of cellular respiration, carbohydrate molecules are oxidized with the help of an oxygen to liberate the energy. And these organic substances leads to the formation of inorganic substances like 6 molecule of CO2 and 6 molecule of H2O. So C6H12O6 gives rise to 6 CO2 plus 6 H2O. It also generates an energy about 686 kilocalorie, or it forms an 38 ATP molecules. In this process, oxidation of a carbohydrate is performed with the help of oxygen. So when we take the reaction of catabolism as a cellular respiration, C6H12O6 plus 6 molecule of oxygen gives rise to 6 CO2 plus 6 H2O plus 686 kilocalorie energy, or 38 ATP molecules. The next, anabolism. Anabolism is a constructive method. In the process of anabolism, one can observe there is a formation of organic substances from the inorganic substances. Inorganic substances like CO2 and H2O. In the presence of light with the help of a chlorophyll pigment, it results in the formation of organic substance like carbohydrate. It also produces water molecule and is going to liberate the oxygen, which is required for the respiration of an organism to being alive. Then you can take a reaction of a photosynthesis as an example of anabolism. 6 molecule of CO2 plus 12 molecule of H2O gives rise to say 6H12O6 plus 6H2O plus 6 molecule of oxygen. So it forms a carbohydrate as well as oxygen. What is an equation of photosynthesis? 6 CO2 plus 12 H2O gives rise to C6H12O6 plus 6 H2O plus 6 molecule of oxygen in the presence of light with the help of a chlorophyll pigment. So not only the photosynthesis and respiration are the reaction. Inside the body, the number of various kinds of reactions are going to perform. To being alive, each and every cell have to perform the number of different kinds of reactions. And sum total of all those reactions is called as metabolism. The next one is growth. I think detailed account we have about the growth in a last lecture. That increase in a dry weight of an organism is considered as a growth. This growth is well orchestrated process. The growth in a non-living thing is extrinsic and growth in living thing it is intrinsic. In intrinsic growth in living organism, cell get divide, their numbers leads to the growth, and automatically as they go for spending the time, they also leads to increasing in their size. So one cell forms 2, 8, 16, 32, 64. In this way, number of cell get increases, and as their size, length and weight get increases, we can say it is a growth. Growth in non-living thing, it is extrinsic. As we have discussed the example of a sand moon in a desert, and builder shows their growth. The growth is not from within, and hence these are not living beings. Which one? Sand moons, buildings, those are non-living. Still they shows a growth. So we can't say growth is a defining property of life or a living organism. The next character, aging. Mind it, as the organism leads to the growth, also go for the development. Now growth is a physical quantity or entities, and development it is a quantitative aspects of an organism. Increase in a dry weight it is called as a growth. So it is a physical factor. Development it is a qualitative aspect. Growth quantitative, development qualitative. Easily we are going to say the growth it is takes place, but the development is not at all. Even with you people also, at number of a time you have heard from your own family members is that only growth it is takes place, but the development is not at all. कि आप खाली बढ़ गए हो, आपका वेट बढ़ा है, आपका साइज बढ़ा है, लेकिन आपकी अकल बड़ी नहीं है. So somewhat same thing about the growth and development. मराठीत म्हणलं तर नुसताच वाढलाय, अकलेचा भाग नाही. अकलेचा भाग इन द सेन्स डेव्हलपमेंट, विकास. ग्रोथ वाढ आणि डेव्हलपमेंट विकास. So growth and development are not the process which have unlimited time span. They have a particular time span. In that time period only the growth as well as the development have to be performed, have to be completed. Because after that certain point of a time, the molecules, the organs, organ systems and an organism being to lose their effective working and leads to aging. They becomes old, and the process is called as aging. Now after the aging, the person it leads to the death. Here we have discussed the next characteristics about the life and living, reproduction. We have a detailed account of reproduction also in a last lecture. Organism produce a young one like themselves, it is called as a reproduction. For continuation of a life, is possible due to the reproduction. That means reproduction is helpful to ensure the continuity of species population or race of an organism. Reproduction are of two different types as asexual and sexual. We have taken the few living organisms. They do not show reproduction like mules, sterile worker bees, and tigon, which we have discussed previously. Mule, when we make a cross in between horse and donkey, we obtain the offspring called as a mule. It is hybrid. Tigon, when we make a cross in between lion and tiger, it forms an sterile offspring is called as a tigon. Mule, tigon, sterile worker bees are living till they do not show reproduction. So, we can't say reproduction as an inclusive characteristics of a life. This is not so. If the organism go for reproduction, then only we can say it is a living, and if not go for reproduction, it is non-living. No, not at all. The organism, that means some living organisms may be sterile and they can't go for a reproduction. Next one, death. As the individual organism go for aging, as the body of organism loses its capacity to perform the metabolism, the final destiny, the final stage in the life of organism is called as a death. So organism leads to the death after completion of their lifespan. What is lifespan? The time duration in between birth and death, it is called as a lifespan. The next, responsiveness. Responsiveness, any living being responded to the thermal, chemical or biological changes takes place into the surrounding, called as a stimuli. Then what is stimuli? Any kind of a change takes place into internal or external environmental condition is called as stimuli. And to this stimuli, the organisms are going to show the response is called as responsiveness, or is also called as reflex action. Is a unique property of living organism. What is reflex action? It is a quick, automatic, involuntary and often unconscious response shown by the organism to any kind of stimulus is called as reflex action. The definition of reflex action was given by the scientist Best Taylor. This reflex action can be considered as unique property of living organism. So in a unique property of living organism, we can take the metabolism as well as responsiveness. Now, in the case of reflex action, one can take an example of touch me not plant, Mimosa pudica. The name itself indicate, name of the plant is what? Touch me not plant, Mimosa pudica. Till we are going to touch to the plant to observe how their leaflets get closed when we are going to touch to those plant leaves. Another example of reflex action, withdrawal of hand from the hot plate. If our hand is came in the contact of hot plate, immediately we people are going to withdraw the hand from the source. Pricking of needle into the fingertip, pricking of thorn into the fingertip also leads to the withdrawal of the hand from the source and is a good example of reflex action. Instead of that, you can take a number of examples related to the reflex action. As we thrown a stone towards the dog, the dog shows a reflex action to you people. Either he shows a barking, either he may go away from you people, either if that dog is pet of your people came towards you, and At some time, if you thrown a stone towards the dog while walking on the roadside, may came towards you people, have a barking and may have a cut to you people. So that it is a reflex action. It depends upon what? The stimulus given by you people and the reaction shown by the dog to the stimuli given by you people. Then stimuli may be in the form of throwing of the stone or may be offering of the food material or bread to the dog. Depending upon the stimuli, the dog is going to change his response to you people. That means there is a uniqueness while giving a response to the stimulus. This is not so only the animals are going to show the response. As we have discussed about the Mimosa pudica, plant also shows a response to the stimulus. Like plant shoot shows their growth towards the sunlight. Plant roots shows their growth towards the water. So plant shoot and leaf, those are phototactic. They show the movement towards the light. As when we put the plant into the window, automatically you can observe the plant shows its growth towards the sunlight. It get bent and shows its growth towards the sunlight. So those are few characteristics. With the help of that we can make a difference in between the living organism and a non-living things. The next one, around us immense diversity of living organism is observed. Since the time immemorial, variety of organisms are living together on the earth. In order to understand the interrelationship in between these living organisms as well as interrelationship in between the living organism and their surroundings which contains non-living things, it is essential to go for the systematic study of all those living organisms and their ecosystem. This data also important for various industries as well as agricultural sector. As in which zone what kind of the crop plant can be grow properly. In industries, what is an best atmosphere, what is an good raw material available into the ecology or ecosystem which is required for that industry. If all the information we have, it is easy for us to go for performance of good result from the industries. Intensive laboratory and field studies in order to identify and classify the organism form strong basis for meaningful use of the collected data. If we need to study this diversity, certain aids have to be used called as a taxonomical aids. Which are the taxonomical aids then? Taxonomical aids, they includes herbaria. In this topic, we are going to discuss about the herbaria, botanical gardens, museum and biodiversity parks. Instead of that, we are going to study about the zoological parks also. In next lecture, we'll discuss about all those taxonomical aids. It's all for today's lecture.